Welcome back, everyone. This is your host, and today we're going to discuss Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was charming, handsome, and highly intelligent, yet he was also a notorious serial killer who preyed on young women and taunted the authorities with his cunning and elusiveness. Today, let's delve into the disturbing world of this infamous killer and uncover the secrets that made him such a formidable monster in disguise. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to hit that like button if you haven't already. We also encourage you to subscribe to our channel where you can find more videos about serial killers, crime, and psychology. Early life and influences. Theodore Robert Bundy was born in 1946 in Burlington, Vermont. He had a troubled childhood marked by abandonment issues. When Ted was just 4 years old, his mother remarried and left him in the care of his grandparents. This abandonment had a profound impact on his development, fostering a deep-seated insecurity and a desperate need for love and acceptance. Bundy exhibited behavioral issues from an early age, such as bedwetting and an obsession with fire. In school, he was often in trouble for starting fights and possessing weapons. Despite these red flags, Bundy was regarded as a bright child with an exceptional ability to read people's minds. This skill would later serve him well, as he used it to manipulate and deceive his victims. The enigma of his upbringing. Much of what we know about Bundy's early life is based on his own accounts, which may not be entirely accurate due to his manipulative nature. The mystery surrounding his true origins adds another layer of intrigue to his story. Bundy claimed to have been born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but inconsistencies in his narratives and official records cast doubt on this account. Some theories suggest that he was actually born in New York City, or that his birth certificate was altered. This uncertainty has fueled speculation about whether Bundy's criminal behavior may have been influenced by a history of abuse or other traumatic events that remain unknown. Charismatic allure. When meeting Bundy for the first time, many people were drawn to his good looks and magnetic personality. He possessed an effortless charm that disarmed people and made them feel comfortable in his presence. This charisma was particularly effective with women, whom he often dated multiple times before escalating his attacks. Bundy's ability to present himself as a successful, confident young man allowed him to gain the trust of his victims and lure them into his trap without raising suspicion. A master manipulator. Ted Bundy was a master manipulator who could easily deceive those around him. He had an uncanny knack for knowing what to say and do to get people to do his bidding. For example, when he needed assistance from strangers, Bundy would often approach them with a fabricated story about needing help to move a recently acquired heavy object. He would then use their sympathy and willingness to help to gain access to their homes or other private spaces where he could carry out his sinister plans. His manipulative skills extended to his romantic relationships as well, where he would feign affection and create a sense of intimacy to lure his unsuspecting partners into danger. The dark secret behind his seemingly normal life. Bundy managed to lead a double life, appearing normal and successful while secretly committing heinous crimes. He worked as a Seattle crime reporter and attended the University of Washington, where he studied political science and criminal justice. These seemingly legitimate pursuits gave him credibility and allowed him to blend in with society. Moreover, Bundy's appearance was deceptive, as he was often well-groomed and dressed, giving him an air of respectability that concealed his true nature. He drove a Volkswagen Beetle, which further enhanced his image as a harmless, even quirky individual. Bundy carefully constructed this facade to avoid arousing suspicion and to gain the trust of his potential victims. By appearing to be a typical member of society, he was able to lure his unsuspecting prey into his web of deception without setting off any alarm bells. Psychological profile of a serial killer. Serial killers are typically characterized by their lack of remorse or pity for their victims, as well as their ability to maintain a facade of normality. In Bundy's case, he was described as being charming and polite, even to his victims, until the very end. He was also highly intelligent and calculated, carefully selecting his victims and planning his attacks in advance. Bundy's case highlights the chilling reality that serial killers can often go undetected for long periods of time because they are able to blend in with society and exploit the trust of those around them. Hunting his prey. Bundy primarily targeted young women who resembled his former girlfriend, Elizabeth Klepfer. He preferred victims who were between the ages of 18 and 25 and had long, straight, dark hair. This suggests that Bundy was driven by a strong desire to possess and control women who met his specific physical criteria. He often approached his victims in public places, such as on college campuses or at shopping malls, where he would engage them in conversation and gradually build a sense of rapport. Once he had established a connection with his victim, Bundy would then devise a plan to lure them into a secluded area where he could attack them without interference. Luring his victims. Ted Bundy employed various tactics to lure his victims into his trap. One common method was to pretend that he had injured himself and needed assistance. Another tactic he used was to feign being lost or disoriented and ask for directions. However, one of his most effective methods was to pose as an authority figure. Bundy would often approach women while wearing his trademark Hawaiian shirt and carrying handcuffs, which he would openly display. This ruse was particularly effective at gaining the trust of his victims, who often assumed that he was a law enforcement officer or a detective. By masquerading as an agent of the law, Bundy was able to trick his victims into thinking they were in good hands, and willingly accompany him to secluded areas where he could overpower them. The brutal reality of his crimes. Despite his seemingly normal appearance, Bundy was a violent and sadistic killer who subjected his victims to horrific abuse. He would often beat, torture, and strangle his victims before leaving them in remote locations. Bundy's choice of victims, primarily young women who resembled his ex-girlfriend, suggests that he was driven by a deep-seated obsession and a desire to exert control over those who reminded him of his former flame. His attacks were not only physically brutal, but also psychologically terrifying, as he would engage his victims in conversation and taunt them with casual banter, right up until the moment of their demise. The capture and trial of a monster. In the early 1970s, Bundy went on a killing spree in Colorado, where he was eventually caught. His capture was a result of a nationwide manhunt that involved numerous law enforcement agencies. During his trial, Bundy represented himself, which gave him the opportunity to showcase his charisma and intelligence. However, the evidence against him was overwhelming, and he was eventually convicted and sentenced to death. Analyzing Bundy's crimes. There are various theories regarding why Bundy chose to kill, with some experts suggesting that his actions were driven by a desire to assert dominance over women. His preference for victims who resembled his ex-girlfriend indicates a possible obsession with controlling women who met his specific physical criteria. Additionally, Bundy's behavior may have been influenced by his troubled childhood, including his abandonment issues and his exposure to violence. His charisma and manipulative nature allowed him to evade capture for an extended period, highlighting the challenges faced by investigators in profiling serial killers. Bundy's case remains a significant one in the field of criminal psychology, providing valuable insights into the minds of serial killers and the importance of considering all aspects of a suspect's behavior, including their appearance and demeanor when forming a psychological profile. Conclusion: the case of Ted Bundy continues to fascinate and terrify people around the world. This killer's ability to maintain a seemingly normal life while secretly committing heinous crimes is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of everyday interactions. As we continue to explore the world of serial killers, it's important to remember that they are often masters of deception who can easily conceal their true nature from those around them. Bundy's legacy serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to remain vigilant and to never underestimate the dangers of assuming that someone's appearance or behavior is indicative of their true character. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, we encourage you to check out others like it on our channel. Let us know in the comments if you think there are any other serial killers whose stories should be explored. Remember to give us a thumbs up and share this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our latest content.